When is Teresa ever going to leave this house? It's really uncomfortable to have someone so reclusive living here. Have you figured out your move yet? I'll be out of here by today. I can't stay living with you, Lenny. It was obvious to anyone that Lenny, my sister-in-law, was trying to take over our home with a smirk on her face. But there was a reason I decided to move out and let her have the house. I firmly believed Lenny wouldn't be able to stay here for long. I'm Teresa, and I live with my dad, mom, and Lenny, who is my brother's wife. Shortly after their marriage, my brother was assigned to work overseas, and Lenny adamantly refused to join him. Instead, she moved into our house without any prior discussion. I vividly remember the day she arrived with a mountain of luggage and bluntly declared, "Edwin's room is empty now that he's gone. I'm moving in." My parents and I were stunned when Lenny showed up unannounced. We called my brother for an explanation, and he was just as surprised by her actions. Although my brother was able to respond from abroad, it was up to my parents and me to handle the situation directly with Lenny. Lenny was supposed to live in the house where my brother had been staying alone, but she claimed the room was too small. Having visited the room myself, I didn't find it particularly cramped, but Lenny had already taken it upon herself to end the lease on it. Since her parents lived far away and our house was conveniently close to her workplace, she insisted on staying here. Naturally, my parents were outraged by her presumption, but Lenny played her cards well. Edwin's overseas, and I'm feeling lonely too. Of course, I'll contribute financially and handle the housework, so please let me stay. Faced with her plea, my parents couldn't refuse. One reason they might have softened was for my brother's sake. Though they were upset by her sudden arrival, Lenny was fulfilling her promises, doing housework, going to work, and paying rent. I, however, was left feeling completely dissatisfied. For reasons I couldn't quite pinpoint, Lenny seemed to have decided I was her adversary. "Oh, Teresa, you're looking as unattractive as ever today," she said the moment she saw me come out of my room in the morning. I don't consider myself particularly attractive, but I was taken aback by her sudden insult. "Teresa, aren't you embarrassed to be such a shut-in all the time? Edwin is out there doing something respectable, and my in-laws have a nice, spacious house, while you, Teresa, just lays around at home. I'd be too ashamed to stay in this house if I were you." Today, my parents were at work, and Lenny seemed to be off. Does she think I won't tell them about her nasty remarks? "You don't need to be embarrassed. I'm not a neat," I said, suppressing a chuckle at her ridiculousness. "Sure, my job keeps me at home a lot, but that doesn't make me a neat." My honest response only made Lenny laugh even harder. "Oh, Teresa, your brother's successful. I work for a prestigious company, and even your parents are respected professionals. I get that you might feel a bit inferior, but there's no need to lie." "I'm not lying, I'm an influencer." "An influencer? Please, stop making me laugh. Someone as plain as you could never be an influencer. That's a job for beautiful models," she said, tossing her elegantly curled hair over her shoulder as she brushed past me. Her perfume lingered heavily in the air as she walked away. "When are you going to move out, Teresa? It's so embarrassing to have a shut-in like you in the house. Have you found a new place yet?" She abruptly stopped, turning back with a malicious grin. "I'll give you an allowance. Teresa, you must need money, right? It's only fair for all the housework you do." Laughing softly, she pulled a few $10 bills from her wallet and tossed them on the floor. "Well, see you," she said with a dismissive wave as she left. Her arrogance really gets under my skin. I'm not just frustrated with Lenny but also disappointed in my brother's lack of discernment. Did they really think I would just take this quietly? Lenny might see me as a meek sister-in-law, but I'm not the type to just sit back and accept it. I pick up the money and, without permission, toss it into Lenny's room. She had some nerve acting so high and mighty over a few tens of dollars. Thankfully, I'm not short on cash. I had planned to relax today, but now it looks like I'll be quite busy. After tidying up and finishing my work for the day, I start packing my things. I can't stand living under the same roof as Lenny any longer. I decide to move in with my boyfriend, Nathan. We've been discussing marriage, and he's understanding and agrees to take me in as soon as I explain the situation. I also make a call to finalize my new living arrangements. From the moment she met us as a prospective wife, Lenny has always looked down on me. She probably feels the need to assert her dominance to feel important. By the time I finish my tasks, my parents are home. I don't mention anything about Lenny. Instead, I join them for dinner, a meal I've prepared. Lenny, who claimed she was out with friends, hadn't returned yet and said she wouldn't be home for dinner, so I expect her to come back late. I choose not to tell my parents about Lenny just yet, waiting for the perfect moment to spring the surprise on her. I'm moving in with Nathan starting today. I'll be out of here by tonight. That's quite sudden. Nathan's okay with it. Yep, he agreed, and we're planning on getting married soon. Well, as long as he's fine with it, just make sure to let him know we said hi. After sharing the news with my concerned parents, I finished washing the dishes with my melancholy mom, gathered my packed belongings, and headed out of my room. Right on cue, there was Lenny, made up in heavy makeup and wearing a smug smile. When are you finally leaving this house, Teresa? It's so embarrassing to have a shut-in like you around. Is your moving day coming soon? I'll be gone today. Believe me, I'm just as eager to leave as you are to see me go. Lenny's smile faltered at my blunt response. Her expression twisted into one of irritation, and her face, though I'm sure my brother wouldn't appreciate the comment, was quite a sight to see. I could definitely do without a sister-in-law like Lenny. Next time we meet, I'll be ready to serve her a dose of revenge. Well, excuse me then, I said as I bid her farewell, said goodbye to my parents who were relaxing in front of the TV downstairs, and left the house. Nathan had told me, you probably won't need to deal with your sister-in-law again, but I loved my brother too much to just let it go. He's a kind-hearted man, and knowing he was being deceived by Lenny, I couldn't stand by idly. Thanks for your concern, but Lenny needs to be completely removed from our house. A few days after I left, I received a call from Mom. You gave us quite a shock with those pictures. Come home and explain. We've already informed your brother, but he can't return right away, so we'll video call him. We've also asked Lenny to take the day off work, so hurry back. I answered Mom's call in the late afternoon with a simple, okay. Then texted Nathan to let him know I was heading to my parents' house, and left. Returning to the family home after a few days felt charged with tension. As soon as I walked in, I heard Lenny's cries growing louder from the living room. When I opened the door, I saw Lenny hunched over in front of my parents, seated on the sofa, glaring at me. Teresa, this is terrible. Why would you send these pictures? Lenny accused, pointing at a series of photos spread across the coffee table. The images showed Lenny with various men at different locations, some with arms linked and hands held, clear signs of intimacy. As Lenny indicated, the sender was me. Private investigators can be quite useful, I thought. On the morning I left, I had hired a private investigator to check if Lenny was cheating. The results were damning. You're the terrible one. What do you mean by doing whatever you want just because I'm not around? My brother's face appeared on the video call screen, red with fury. Lenny protested to him. But I was lonely. You're always traveling abroad, even though we're newlyweds. Edwin, you left me alone. You're the one to blame. I could see the anger in my parents' eyes, but I remained calm. You're right, the fault lies with my brother. Lenny looked at me in disbelief as I held her gaze, showing no sympathy. The real issue is my brother's poor judgment in choosing a woman like you. Taken aback, Lenny leaned in toward me, fuming. What? You've got some nerve. You hideous shut-in, telling me this. All this chaos is your fault. Despite the presence of my parents and brother, Lenny couldn't suppress her true colors. As soon as she realized the gravity of her outburst, she slapped her hand over her mouth, but it was too late. My parents and brother were taken aback, but I calmly stated, Lenny is always like this. She views me as an ugly shut-in and puts on a facade of niceness to everyone else while cheating and being abusive to those she considers beneath her. My brother is also at fault for marrying someone like her. I was just speaking the truth. Teresa is a shut-in, not an influencer. That's a lie. Mom sighed deeply, clearly shocked by Lenny's brazen behavior. I had no idea Lenny was like this. Yes, Teresa spends a lot of time at home, but she's not a shut-in. She's a genuine influencer. As Lenny looked on in disbelief, I shared my influencer name with her and suggested she look it up. She quickly began searching on her phone. When she saw the search results, Lenny's expression shifted between astonishment and confusion. She pointed at me, incredulously asking, Really, Teresa, is this you? Yep, I confirmed. Makeup can work wonders. I'm a beauty influencer who, despite a plain appearance, uses makeup to create transformative videos. I often get requests from cosmetic companies to promote their products, and I have a large fan base. People frequently think of me when they think of beauty influencers. This house was bought with the money I earned. Lenny was visibly stunned. It was probably hard for her to believe that someone like me could afford a house in such a prime location, so close to the station. As Lenny stood there, dumbfounded, the doorbell rang. Curious about the visitor, I, the only one standing, answered the door. A familiar voice said, Can I come in? Yeah, sure, I responded, and Nathan stepped through the door. Seeing him, Lenny recoiled in shock. What? Why is Nathan here? Oh, you must be the sister-in-law I've heard about. It's nice to finally meet you, Nathan said with a warm smile. He's been acting since childhood. We had met at a content creator event and hit it off immediately. Nathan and I have been together for years. Though we kept our relationship private, his presence seemed to convince Lenny that I really was an influencer, she weakly murmured. No way. From the video call, my brother told her, this isn't the time to be upset about that. Things escalated quickly. My brother announced that he would be seeking a settlement and filing for divorce. He planned to return to the US for a break, instructing Lenny to stay at our house until he returned. With our parents looking at Lenny with disdain, it was clear that her time at our house would be anything but comfortable until my brother came back. Once my brother had escaped from Lenny, Nathan and I decided to head home. During the drive, I asked him, why did you come with me? Nathan replied, I didn't want my future wife, Teresa, to face mistreatment. His kindness made me smile. 2 weeks later, my brother returned to the States. During his absence, Lenny had taken a leave from work and locked herself in her room to draft the divorce papers. She was reportedly crying. I love Edwin the most, but my brother remained resolute. After the divorce was finalized, Lenny attempted to live alone, but the men who had once been involved with her distanced themselves due to the shock of the divorce and her noticeable weight loss. Unable to get help from anyone, Lenny repeatedly called my brother, but he blocked her number. He went abroad again, leaving her without any support. Lenny eventually quit her job and returned to her parents' home. Ironically, the woman who had mocked shut-ins had become one herself. Since then, my brother has been cautious about his relationships, but he met a wonderful woman abroad and married her. The new sister-in-law, a courageous woman with beautiful blonde hair, is learning English to communicate with me and our parents. Nathan and I also got married, and our wedding made the news. Nathan's marriage was celebrated by many due to his childhood fame, and I was warmly accepted as his wife. With everything now resolved and peaceful, my family and I are living happily.